reacting with metals. So before explaining this, let us recall what are the acid product we use, as I explained you in this earlier class. Now acid product like vinegar. Vinegar we use in our household. So vinegar is an acetic acid. So why don't you think that why this vinegar is not packed in a tin metal or a metal surface? Why they are packing in bottle, glass bottle, or they are packing in plastic substance? So there is a reason. And acid, that is vinegar is acid, when it is packed with metal, they will react. And when they will react, they will form a harmful compound, which will be not good for our health. It will make food poisoning, and so it is not good for us. So how it reacts, let us see. Now acid, suppose I am taking HCl. Now any metal I am taking as a simple zinc. Zinc is a metal. So what happens here, when this acid is reacting with metal, what does it form? So we can see this acid reacts with metal to form zinc chloride, which is a salt, and it forms hydrogen gas. So when acid and metals they react, they are going to obtain salt and hydrogen gas. That's why the acidic product like curd or vinegar, they are never packed in metal surface. They are packed in plastic surface or any compound which is not non-metal. So this is the reason acid will react with metal and salt and hydrogen gas will be obtained. Now let us see another example like I said HCl. Now if I am going to react magnesium with HCl. So magnesium here is a metal and HCl is a acid. So what it forms? It forms magnesium chloride, MgCl2 plus hydrogen gas is evolved. So here also we saw that the hydrogen gas is getting evolved. Now there is an interesting thing to understand there when this acid is reacting with metal. This hydrogen gas is getting evolved. It is gas. Okay, it is gas. It is getting evolved. So how we'll know experimentally that this gas is getting evolved when these two things are mixed, when acid and metals are mixed? So I'll explain you experimentally, theoretical example I will give you here. So suppose you are taking zinc metal, like for example zinc, in a beaker or test tube you are taking zinc. Zinc is placed here. In the zinc you are going to add hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid. Say sulfuric acid you are adding, diluted one. So when this both will react, like zinc is going to react with what? HCl. So say HCl. So what is it? Zinc chloride and H2 is liberated here. Similarly, if zinc is mixed with sulfuric acid, then what does it form? It forms zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. So here zinc is mixed with sulfuric acid. So this is zinc metal plus sulfuric acid. So obviously it is going to form zinc sulfate. It is a salt and hydrogen gas. So how we'll determine that hydrogen gas is being evolved from this reaction? So we are going to pack this reaction and one small hole is kept here. With that hole, one test tube is, one funnel or test tube, anything is dipped outside. So it have an outlet here, outlet of the gas. So whatever the gas is taking place here, that is passing through this outlet. And this is placed under a solution of water. So obviously when you are blowing water in, when you are blowing air inside water, what you will see bubbles are forming here. So bubbles will form, that is hydrogen gas. So what we do, we mix a soft solution here. So a fume or foaming surface will be formed here. When it is formed, that bubbles will come out with that soap fume. So bubble is coming out. So what we'll do, we'll take a piece of candle in our hand and we are going to hit that bubble with the candle. We'll observe a pop-up sound will be there. A pop-up sound will be observed. When this pop-up sound is observed, we can say that, okay, hydrogen gas is evolving. So the question, one question arises here that it must produce pop-up sound with other elements also. No, only hydrogen produces pop-up sound. Other element doesn't. So we can say that hydrogen is evolving from this reaction. So we can understand from here. Another important thing that I am telling here, hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. Here we are using dilute sulfuric acid. Now, there is two things to understand in this acid, that what is concentrated acid and what is diluted acid. Concentrated acid, what it is? Concentrated means there will be a less amount of water and more amount of acid. So when we say that the acid is concentrated, we have to know that more amount of acid is there. So to say, there will be 99% concentrated acid. You will never hear people saying that 99% diluted acid. They will say 99% concentrated acid. So what does it mean? It means that 100 ml of water, so 100 ml of water is there, and 100 ml of beaker we are taking, measuring cylinder we are taking 100 ml. So when I am telling 99% of concentrated acid, it means that only 1% of water is there with this solution and 99% is pure acid. So similarly, now after looking concentrated, what is diluted acid? In diluted acid, the amount of water will be more. Here I can say 10% of diluted acid. So 10% means 90% is water volume and 10% is acid. Together it is making 100%. So this is the difference between concentrated and diluted. Now we saw that metal reacting with acid and metal, they are reacting and they are forming compound like salt and hydrogen gas. Here acid is going to react now with metal carbonate. So first we saw acid reacts with metal. Now metal carbonates. So what they are going to form? When acid will react with metal carbonate, let us see. Now we are taking metal carbonate here. So to say, we are taking sodium carbonate. This is metal carbonate. Now acid we are taking HCl. So when this acid is going to react with metal carbonate, the product form we can see clearly, they are going to form a salt. One salt they will form with carbon dioxide, and water will be their constant outer product. So they are going to form salt and then carbon dioxide and water. So this reaction, if you are going to complete, how it will be, let us see that. How it will be. So HCl was going to react with metal carbonate, that is sodium carbonate, and it was going to form salt. So what was the salt? 2 sodium chloride, 2NaCl, plus what was the output? Carbon dioxide, and water was the another byproduct. So when hydrochloric acid reacting with carbonate salt, it is going to form salt, carbon dioxide and water. So what is this 2NaCl? I am saying salt, that is called sodium chloride. So where it is used in our day-to-day life, sodium chloride we are going to use to make food. This common salt, it is also called common salt. When our mom or our maid, when they are cooking food, they are mixing the salt. This salt is sodium chloride. So here we are using in our day-to-day life, without which our life will not be filling. We cannot have food proper taste. So this product is very much important. So how it is formed? It is forming like acid is going to react with metal carbonate. Now also it forms with various other means. Here one mean is that acid is going to react with metal carbonate. Now another example, let us see. We are going to react acid like sulfuric acid. Okay, let us say sulfuric acid. So H2SO4. So when it is going to react with, say, another we are taking calcium carbonate. We took metal carbonate like sodium carbonate. Now we are taking calcium carbonate. So what it is going to form? The first thing it is going to form is a salt. So what is the salt here? Salt will be calcium reacting with that is calcium sulfate. Now after forming the salt, what is it is going to form? Carbon dioxide as the byproduct and water. So we can sum up this reaction that when acid is reacting with metal carbonate, it is going to form salt, carbon dioxide and water. So this is the reaction of acid with metal carbonate. Now if instead of metal carbonate, we are going to use metal hydrogen carbonate. So acid going to react with now metal hydrogen carbonate. So what happens here? Here now acid, let us take let us take hydrogen carbonate. Say sodium hydrogen carbonate. Now it is going to react with HCl. So what it forms? In metal carbonate, we saw that it formed the byproduct salt, carbon dioxide and water. So there is no changes here itself. Here also it is going to form a salt in carbon dioxide and water. How? Let us see. Now this is called as sodium hydrogen carbonate. Hydrogen carbonate. As we know, this sodium is a metal. So it is a metal hydrogen carbonate. It is going to react with acid. Now what it forms? It is going to form 2 NaCl plus 2 CO2 and 2 moles of water. So what we saw, here also the carbon dioxide was produced, also the water was produced, and the basic important product, that was salt, common salt, was produced from this reaction also. So metal hydrogen carbonate produced salt, similarly like metal carbonate, and it produces the byproduct like carbon dioxide and water. Now we took here sodium. I explained both the examples with sodium. Now if I am taking another metal, magnesium. Magnesium is a metal, we know. And this is magnesium carbonate. So magnesium is a metal, magnesium hydrogen carbonate. So it is going to react with HCl. So as I gave the statement that when metal carbonate is reacting with acid, first thing it is going to form is a salt. So what salt it forms here? It forms magnesium chloride. So it is forming magnesium from partial taking from this hydrogen carbonate, partial is anion magnesium, and here chloride is coming in. They are forming a salt for magnesium chloride. And as always, they are going to form carbon dioxide and water. Now you will be asked, so here one important thing to see, that I am saying here 2 moles of salt is formed. Like earlier reaction we saw that only 1 molecule of sodium chloride was formed. So what it is forming? Sodium chloride, carbon dioxide and water. So you are going to form water that is written as H2O. Now carbon dioxide, CO2, and it is reacting with salt. So here the basic product form is called salt, and here we can see that I am putting 2 moles of water. 2 moles of water. So now you will ask me, what is the reason? In the second reaction also, magnesium hydrocarbonate, when reacting with acid, is forming salt, that is magnesium chloride, carbon dioxide, and here also we saw that the byproduct is water. So water was how many molecules? Here also we saw that 2 H2O. That means it is forming 2 moles of water. So here, instead of giving singularly that carbon dioxide CO2, I am giving 2 H2O, 2 CO2. So what is the reason? That is the basic reason we learn in the first chapter, that is balancing a chemical equation. It is balanced here. How? Now we are saying here, sodium hydrogen carbonate is reacting with HCl to form this salt. So how many moles of carbon dioxide has been formed by us? Now let us balance this. If I am giving here 2, I can, in the situation how it is balanced, sodium, it is 2, so here 2 sodium. Similarly, hydrogen, I can see here 2 hydrogen, 2 into this here 2, so 2 plus 2 it makes 4 hydrogen. So I am giving 2 H2O, 2 into 2, 4 hydrogen. So ultimately, from first chapter we learned that we need to balance a chemical equation. And also why we need to balance the chemical equation? Because law of mass says that mass cannot be created nor it is destroyed. So if I give only H2O, you are going to say me, sir, how these 2 moles of hydrogen was destroyed if the mass cannot be destroyed? So it is satisfying the law of mass. Now when acid reacts with metal carbonate, we saw that salt, carbon dioxide and water. The third one we saw, acid reacted with metal hydrogen carbonate and it forms similarly salt, carbon dioxide and water. Now acid is going to react with metal oxide. What it forms? What it is going to form? Let us see that. So metal oxide, what metal commonly we can say? Copper oxide. So copper is a metal and oxide is copper oxide is metal oxide. It is going to react with HCl. Say. So what is going to form? It is going to form CuCl, that is copper chloride and water. So what it forms? Salt and water. Salt plus water. So when acid is reacting with metal oxide, it forms salt and water, we can say that. Now, the most important thing in this chapter to understand here, that this acid, that is called fifth chemical property, we can see that this acid, when itself is going to react with base. Obviously, if acid is reacting with metal oxides, metal hydrogen carbonate, metal carbonate, so what happens if this acid I am giving to react with base? So what is going to form? It is going to form salt. As at the beginning of the class, I told you that when acid and base they will react, they will form salt. Salt and water will be the products. So salt is obtained. Now how, let us see with the example. Like acid I am taking from HCl. Okay, HCl is acid. Now base, I explained you that when it is any substance is mixed with water, we can see a hydroxide ion is being dissociated. So we are taking base as sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is a base, we know. So hydroxide ion is there, that means it will be a base. So when acid is reacting with base, what is going to form? Sodium chloride and water. How? That Ca and Na, they combine together and they form this salt. And the remaining was what? H and OH. So H and OH, they form water. So when acid and base they react, they form salt and water. So can you tell me what this reaction means, or what is the name of this reaction in general form? We can say that it is a neutral reaction. How neutral reaction? Acid, which is somewhat positive in nature, and base, which is somewhat negative in nature, they reacted together, and positive negative, they somehow formed a neutral compound. This salt. So we can say it is a neutralization reaction. Here acid and base, they are neutralizing each other and they are getting a compound called salt and water. So we understood that chemical properties of acid, that when they reacted with metal, similarly with metal oxides, metal carbonates, metal hydrogen carbonates, and also the best important part we learned here, that acid and base, they are reacting and they are forming the salt, which itself defines the topic salt here.